This video is my biggest regret, having worked with over 10 employers, both in Vietnamese primary school, kindergarten, centers, public schools, everywhere. And most teachers have also confirmed to this thing I'm going to tell you. So number one, Vietnamese employers or employers, yes, are very cunning and tricky people who would like to take advantage of you if you sober yourself or if you submit yourself fully. Now, this is how they do. They start little. They start introducing the hook to you. Now, if you swallow this hook, for instance, in your job description, you're not supposed to do certain things. Somewhere along the line, they will try to give you other things that is out of your scope. If you don't complain and you take it and do it, they will not pay you, and you'll be thinking that, oh, I'm doing them a favor. No, they won't do that. They won't pay you. They won't count it, and the next time they'll give you extra one. Now, once it continues, to them it becomes a routine. It becomes part of your job. Meanwhile, they won't be paying you. If you're working with any employer, you need to insist strictly according to your contract. Make sure you go according to the contract you guys have signed. Anything out of the scope of the contract, you either don't do it or you charge for it. Because if you don't charge for it, they will continue giving you, but they will not pay you. And they will always make you think that they are doing you a favor. They always make you think that you don't merit what they are giving you, but they are considering you. They are giving you a chance. They are allowing you. They are giving you an opportunity. That is how they think. And they always think by making you, the employee, making you do as I say. You do as I say, you don't complain. Now, this is the catch. Once you stand up to them, once you let them know that, oh, this is not part of our contract. So if you want me to do this, it means you have to pay me this, or I don't do it at all. Once you let them know that you know this, you know your left, your right, you know your worth, you know you are good, you know what you can do, then they stop. And they never have any troubles with you. They never come troubling you. But if you don't stand up to them, and if you kowtow to whatever they tell you, they say do this, you do it, it's not part of a contract, you do it, you don't accept extra money, you do it one, you do it two. The third time they will bring it and they will ensure that you do it compulsory. That is how Vietnamese think. In Vietnam, they always celebrate negativity. Managers, they talk about your achievements. I mean, very little time. But when there are potholes, when there are faults, they speak highly about it. In fact, they like to talk about negativity. Why did you do this? Why did you take this decision? You don't know. That's what they like to talk about. But they rarely like to commend you. So I was thinking that if they like to, bash you for any negativity, when there is any positivity, they also have to praise you, but they don't do that. When it's positive, that's your duty, that's your job, and you've done it. So they don't celebrate it. Now, take note that this is not everybody, but these are accumulated experiences. There are teachers who try to please their managers or their bosses. They try to please them by doing even things that they're not asked to do. Way back in Africa or way back in Europe, the other part of the country, where when you commit yourself so much to do certain things for a school, an institution, your job, sometimes you get extra salary, or even sometimes you will be applauded for it. And sometimes when there are little problems, they can forgive you because of the fact that, sometime back you did this even though you were not supposed to do it. And so they will overlook it. But Vietnam, most of the bosses are not like that. So when you try to do things for them, things you're not supposed to do, for instance, you're not supposed to teach to a certain number, and you overlook it and you teach, or you're not supposed to go with them to a certain place. For instance, in short, if you do things you're not supposed to do, or you are not expected to do, thinking that they are going to applaud you, that will never happen. They don't really care. But then, if for instance you are at the crossroad and you are expecting that because of that thing that you did for them, they should use that to balance what you did, that will never happen. They are going to deal with you squarely and according to how you deserve to be punished or whatever. That thing that you did for them never comes to it. So don't try to please your employers. Instead, do what you are expected to do. Do what you are paid to do. If you are given anything that is out of your jurisdiction, let them know that this is out of my jurisdiction. Next is that in as much as you need to maintain relationship in your workplace, because relationships are good, for recommendation. If there is something, they can give it to you ahead of the other person because you have good relations. Avoid making friends, making committed friends with your bosses, with your managers, with your teachers, because if you do and you include, friendship into the work, they are going to take advantage of you. So, guys, I've always been friends with them. Even if you have to be friends with them, know your limits and say no what you got to say no to, and say yes to what you have to say yes to. Don't let the friendship cloud your mind. Don't let the friendship cloud your brain. Don't let the friendship distort your professional job as a teacher. Always know what to do about being friends with Vietnamese because they really love to take advantage of these. Now, the next point is Vietnamese really care less about what happens to you, the teacher. What happens to you is none of their business. So, for instance, I'll tell you a story. So, recently, I was going to teach in a school, in a center. I was driving for 30 minutes. I drove 30 minutes and got to the class. But then I had a puncture, like I had a puncture in my tire, in my bike tire, and it was 6 p.m. So, the class was 6 to 7. Now I told my boss, I have a puncture, so can you please get a mechanic or someone to fix it? He said, no, she doesn't. She can't get anybody. And so the temptation was that I was going to drive 30 minutes from where I was teaching back home. If I continue to teach and I'm done and it's late, I'll have to push my bike from where I went to teach to my house. And so I couldn't risk that since she told me, she couldn't work on that. And that is a new place. That's a place I rarely go. So what I did was that I told her, then I'm going to look for someone to fix my bike. So you can take care of the class. So I abandoned the class and I pushed my bike to town and got a place to fix it. Now, do you know what happened? The next month, she deducted that time from my amount of the money she was supposed to pay me. Yes, and that is not the only thing. There's been instances where people will get an accident on their way to school and they won't even pay you that money. You know, for instance, if you don't go to work, that is a different thing. Like today you didn't go to work, so you're not getting paid. But if you are on the move, if you're on a motorbike going to work and anything happens to you, ideally, the school or the person that sent you is supposed to take responsibility. That's it, right? But in Vietnam, they don't do that. Once you don't get to teach, regardless of what happened to you, whether you were engaged in an accident, regardless, they are not going to pay or they're not going to take care of that. And it even gets scary. For instance, if you get injured on your way to teach or something, sometimes they just don't give it. They don't just, you're not a priority. You are not. They'll just replace you. If you can't teach, if you are not strong to come and teach a day or two, they'll just replace you with a new teacher and off they go. So Vietnamese, technically, they don't care about their teachers. They don't. And if you are going to teach, if you don't get there and deliver that lesson, whatever happened to you is none of their business. And so you need to know what that means is that you always have to prioritize your safety first. You always have to prioritize your safety first. So if you think where you are, you overspeeding, if you think you have to prioritize yourself. If you think it's better you don't go at all, don't go, or just slow down. It's better to be late than not to get there at all. But don't forget, if you are late too, you are going to deduct a certain amount of money from your money. But that is better than running into accidents or running into problems and you don't get to go there at all. At the end of the day, they also don't take care of you. They find a new teacher. So that's just a point I want you to know, that for them, it's all about getting the job done. Anything outside that is a no-no, out of reach for them. Now, the next point is that, for instance, when getting employed, if you were given some advantage, if we're given some privileges, that we'll give you this, we'll give you a bike, we'll give you fuel, we'll give you a car, we'll pay you 100,000 VND or dollars for your fuel amount. If they promise you anything, once you start working, make sure you take those things. Make sure you take them. So most of the times, when we come, we relax. We're like, okay, I don't need a bike for now, so you hold on. Or let's say, I don't need the fuel money, so you hold on. or let's say I don't need that for now. So you hold, or you will not technically tell the boss, but you won't demand it. After a certain time, you forfeit that automatically. That is how the cycle of Vietnamese work. If they promise you anything in their contract and you come, start working, and they realize that, or you don't demand that thing for a very long time, for some time, and it becomes normal. For instance, they said they were going to give you a bike to teach in public schools. Now, when you came to Vietnam, you started teaching in one center. Because of that, you didn't really need a bike. You just needed a car to be going up and down. If you don't demand it for a certain period of time, after time, you won't get it again. So, for instance, if your situation changes in some time and you are now going to ask for the bike, it's gone. You won't get it. Forget about it. So, if they tell you, or if they, in their contract, if they tell you they're going to give you fuel allowance, money, bike, once you get there, demand that thing. Even when you don't need it, demand it and put it down. Because per their psyche and their way of thinking, if you don't take that thing for a long time, they know you can still do the job without that thing and you won't get that thing. Now, the next point is that if you're working with a center or a school and you get a good offer, don't look left, don't look right, leave and go. Now, make sure when I'm saying leave, I'm not saying do it illegal, the illegal way, but make sure you meet the conditions of terminations in your offer letter. Make sure you do it and go. Once you're able to make your checks and show that everything is intact, it's a good school, they are offering some good amount, don't think about the school, don't think about your employer, don't think about the case, don't think about anything. Leave and go. So it's as simple as this. If you don't go, they will kick you out one day. If you don't leave, they will kick you out one day. Now, always think of the Vietnamese language teaching as a bus. So a bus that has a company that runs the bus, and they always need drivers. So once they find a better driver, they will kick you out. Now, once you come and ride or drive it and you are leaving, don't think if you leave, they're not going to find a new teacher. So sometimes we think like that. I'm like, I've become emotionally attached to the kids. I can't just leave. I can't just, what are you telling? You can't just leave. When the time is right, they will kick you out without thinking left or right. So that's it. So anytime you find a good offer whilst working in Vietnam and you fulfill all your termination conditions in your letter, don't think twice. Leave them and go. Because when they get opportunity, they are going to kick you out. Opportunities like when they find a white teacher, or when they see any problem with you, when they think you're not supposed to be there, they won't think about it twice. They'll just kick you out. That is the psyche of Vietnamese. And it's been done to a number of people. It's been done to a number of people. I can tell you that confidently. So anytime you have that, leave and then go. Now, always think that their language teaching in Vietnam is a business. It is a business. They are running a business. It's a scheme that they are running. So apart from the fact that you are offering tuition, you are teaching, you are learning, whatever, it's a business. These guys are running. It's a cash cow that's bringing in money. And so any means that they can twist and tweak to make them more money, to make them more revenue, they're going to do it. Tweaks like one parent of kids in the center decide to push you away. They say that our kids don't like this teacher. You are going to go the next morning. They're like, if they find any problem, if kids don't like you, if they think you are not teaching well, if they think your presence is not bringing in kids, or if it's not bringing in revenue, or the school is stagnant, like anything they think is going to, render the progress of the school, of the institution, or the center, they won't think twice. They'll push you away. So anytime you have the opportunity working with any school in Vietnam, if you find a better one, just leave. Now, the next point is that most or some Vietnamese employers, they are opportunists. Some of them are opportunists. Opportunists in the fact that, now, the ideal thing is that when you find a teacher, you need to review the teacher's CV, interview the teacher, look at his teaching videos, speak to him, and then if you are okay, or sometimes you invite him for a test or something, he'll come and teach for you to see a cover. And if you are okay, then you give the teacher a contract, a start date, you start processing the contract, and the teacher comes. Most of teachers don't do that, or most of the employers don't like to do that. When they wait till they are in dire need of a teacher. Like they wait till they need a teacher urgently, and they will push you. Now, when they push you to come, they won't look at a lot of things. They won't look at your sometimes they will check your CV and all those things, but they are supposed to conduct a thorough survey to see that they like you and start the process. They won't do that, or sometimes they won't even start processing for your work permit and your TLC. So now, after you moving in a rush to their center, teaching for let's say a month, sometimes some weeks, sometimes you've left or you've abandoned your old job, thinking, oh, these people are going to, it's a sure, or you're going to get it. Now, when it's time for them to get your work permit at TLC, they will start telling you stories. They will start telling you stories. Oh, the company is saying that we can't do this. This has become this, or you have to pay this. We have to grease the palms of the authorities, so you have to pay. So that's what they do. They will either get you into more mess, or they will make you pay shoulder for all the cost of the TLC, the work permit that they were supposed to do. That they were supposed to get you before even working with them. So ideally, if you have a company you are working with, anytime you find a new company, make sure you do due diligence and make sure that new company follow that's the right things. So for instance, severally have rejected offers because they have refused to go through the process. They have refused to start applying for the sponsorship and getting me the right documentation to be able to move there. They always want you to move to their end first before they start doing that. And I said, no, I'm a professional teacher. I don't do that. If you want to work with me, we go through. If you like me, you should send me an offer letter knowing how much you are giving me. It's not a matter of just telling me, I'll give you this, oh teacher. No. Write it, put it in writing. Put that thing in writing. Let me see, read it, and then I sign it. Then we agree that you give me a start, or we agree on a start date. Unfortunately, most recruiters don't like to do that. They don't like to do that. They'll just put pressure on you. Oh, you have to come. You need to start tomorrow. Next 2 days you have to start. That is not the best way. Any recruiter who does that end up giving you troubles. They will end up giving you problems. You start working now when it's time to transfer the document into their names. They'll start giving you stories. And now you are being forced to help yourself by coughing out money, by giving out money, by meeting them halfway. You understand what I mean? So anytime, if you're already in Vietnam, you are working, you have a school you are working with, although things are not as you expected, and a new center, a new school, a new whatever expresses interest in you that they want to work with you, don't be in a rush, in a haste to move to them. Let them know that yes, you are working, but you are ready to relocate, and so, or you are ready to work with them. And so if they are interested in you, then they should, start transferring the document. They should send you an offer letter for you to read and sign. You agree on a start date. You ensure that everything is intact before you move. Because Vietnamese, as they are, if you don't do these things, they will get you in a mess one day. Now, another thing is that most of these recruiters always want to control you, the teacher, to the extent that if they won't even want to tell you how to teach, they want to show you how to teach. Teacher, do this. Teacher, don't do this. Teacher, play game. Teacher, stop. Teacher, don't sit like this. I know what I'm talking about. I know because I have a center that practically does that. And you have these problems when you have with the center managers or teachers who also teach English. So they are English teachers themselves, and they want extra hand, or they want a foreign teacher for pronunciation. Now, what they do is they always want to tell you what to do. They always want you to teach according to how they want. Now, if you give in or if you allow them, what is going to happen is that forever, or for the whole of your stay there, they are going to tell you what to do. They are going to dictate to you how to teach. They are going to tell you what to do and what not to do. So once they start doing this, you have to stop them immediately. Stop them. Let them know that, okay, fine. Okay, teacher, so you've proposed to me, I will think about it. But I don't think I want to do it this way. I think I want to do it this way. At the end of the day, the objective is what we all want. So if you pass right, I want to pass left and achieve the same results. Let them know that you are not a pushover teacher. Just let them know. Let them know right from the start. And once you do that, you're going to have a good time working with them. But if you don't do that, they will push you and they will never stop. When they push you the first time, they will push you the second time, they will push you the third time, and they will continue pushing you. That is how most of the Vietnamese employers or agents or teachers are. So let them know that you are not a pushover teacher. Let them know that if they want to do the thing a certain way, they can do it when they are teaching. But you want to do it this way. Don't let them predict you time that you should play games. Don't let them predict you time that. Let them know that you are a professional teacher. You know what you are doing and what you are about. And once they have hired you to come and teach, they should give you that room to do that, to bring them the results that they need. Else, they will make you fail and they will blame you for making them fail. So that's one thing about Vietnamese teachers that you also need to take note. Now, the last but not the least is disclosing your salary. Especially if you work in a public school. So you are a teacher from one center or one place and you've been invited to teach in a public school for some time or a cover, or you're going to be there for 1 year or whatever. One thing that they tend to want to find out is your salary, how much you are being paid. Now, if you tell them how much you are being paid, is a recipe for disaster. You're going to have a lot of troubles with your TA, with the teachers you work there. Because one thing is that foreign teachers are paid a bit higher than the normal teachers. Once you let them know and they realize that they are doing the same job with you, that's going to give you a lot of troubles. And your TA is going to give you a lot of tough time. A lot of tough time. So one thing you should never do is disclosing your salary to them. It's private and it should remain private. At times, your TAs will like to know how much you are taking, but they will tell you how much they take, and they want to know what you also take. But the fact of the matter is, he is the TA, you are the teacher. So find a nice way of pushing them off, of pushing them away, not telling them, disclosing your salary to them. Once you tell them your salary is a recipe for disaster. So that's one thing you should never do. Now, the next thing is that if you work in a center, try as much as possible not to stay or live in the center, because there were a number of restrictions. Try to find your own place. If the school is ready to give you some amount, so you top up and rent a place, do that. As much as possible, avoid staying in centers or in your schools. It never helps. However, if you have no option, if you're a newbie, you just came into the country and you've been given the center to stay, let's say it's going to be your temporal sitting place or staying place. Now, make sure to avoid friends. Don't invite friends into the center. You should try as much as possible to be there alone. Don't invite people there. Don't invite your lovers there. It is not accepted. It is unacceptable. So if you stay in a center, don't invite friends there. Rather go out to have your fun. And even when you go out, check your times. The times you come in and sleep. There are certain times you shouldn't go out. If you stay and live in a center, don't invite friends. You should know the time that you shouldn't go out. And you should also know the do's and don'ts of staying in that center. So take note of that. So guys, this is where I'm going to draw the curtains down for today. My name is Kenya Brante. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more revealing secrets about working and teaching in abroad, Asia, and in Vietnam. Don't forget to subscribe. My name is Kenya Brante. It's a bye for now.